Blessings, everyone. Today is going to be a little bit of a different oracle reading because Spirit was kind of nudging to do the romance, divine counterpart, angel oracle, along with the ascended masters. And so there's a little bit of a love reading, and then whatever ascended master is working through the divine counterparts to help them hold the energy. So first I would like to say thank you to Source for allowing me to be a medium of light. And then I ask that all the divine counterpart souls step forward to help me bring a message for the highest good. Thank you. I'm just going to shuffle. I do 3 for these as well, which is Source, Spirit, Soul. It's been a very heart-centered day today. I was out today, out and about, and I actually went to the thrift store today, and there was so many people smiling, saying hello, nodding at each other, laughing, interacting at the store. It was a really wonderful energy today. You could feel the heart space. And then Spirit nudged me earlier to do the crystal chakra bowl and the key of F for the heart, just to open that up and keep the heart chakra spinning. So it's a very good energy today. And so let's see where we're gonna go. I just they'll nudge which card they say go ahead and pick it, and this one moves out of the deck. Pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. And the first thing that I'm hearing from the angels and the guides are that because there is such an asphyxiation at this point, so many more people have become spiritually aware, and with the internet, you could read so many different things. But they're speaking of this idea about, with the divine counterparts, that there's all these different labels and lists that people look up and say, oh, if I might meet this criteria and this criteria, those are the words they're using, then I must be a twin flame or divine counterpart. And there's this false twin flame, and then there's the soulmate, and there's this and there's that. And they're saying that just be cautious, because there's so many things that go along with when people have decided to have a long-lasting romantic relationship. That the narcissism that's out there, or the excuses that people make, maybe there's behavioral things that we haven't worked on. All of these, just because it is a divine union or a twin flame soul connection, doesn't make the excuse that we can let these things go within a relationship. Yes, it's true that there's a certain level, a certain heightened awareness, a certain consciousness that we all reach before we start drawing each other in. But the red flags are that it's not going to turn out well, no matter how much of a connection there is in a frequency, if both partners have not done the work. And we know this. If we've found ourselves crying more than we're laughing together, if we feel like we have to constantly step away from something because it's frustrating and overwhelming, Spirit is saying this is not the time then. There's still work to be done. And also, the other thing they're saying is, don't get so caught up in being alone that we can't relate to anybody anymore because we've got so set in our ways that we're not willing to compromise. So the red flags are there, the warnings are there. that we're not supposed to be in a relationship just because we have a telepathic connection. And we're not supposed to have this divine union with someone because they're both very spiritual and enlightened beings, but yet the interaction between the two causes some kind of chaos or tension. The union will meld together and be beautiful and flow when both souls are in the space that they've done the work and they're ready to be of service together, because the union has a purpose. It's not a self-fulfilling purpose. It's not, we both love baseball and now I have somebody to hang out with on the weekend, and oh my goodness, we both love chocolate and I've been waiting to play guitar with someone my whole life. That's not what this is about. The divine union has a spiritual purpose. Both souls have gotten into the place where they've done the work and there isn't any more red flags. There's no narcissism or all kinds of depressive acts. There's no anger and aggression. There's no self-worth struggles. Because although we can support each other through the union, we can't fix each other through the union. The union occurs when both souls, even if they're having the struggles, even if one is dealing with some self-worth and the other one is dealing with some anxiety, as long as they're doing the work, they can come together and support each other. But Spirit is saying, look out for the red flags of people who have this idea that it's not them, it's you. It should always, always feel inspiring, encouraging, and filled with light when they connect, even in the worst of it. So this is something that Spirit is saying to make sure that we're aware of. If a connection is making us feel anything other than love and hope, if it makes us go within and feel something negative about ourselves, it isn't a divine union. And so the next card, this one is going to be the Ascended Master that can be called upon for the divine counterparts, or is already working with the divine counterparts to help them in this struggle, to see the red flags, to understand what needs to be done. Because, yes, they can bring things out in each other. We all do, though. Even the best of friends do it. Brothers and sisters, parents and children, co-workers. We all trigger each other in some way or another. It's just, what do you do with that? Is the first thing you do is to look at the other person in some way and just start pointing fingers and say, it's all on you. You triggered me today. Or are we able to say, I'm beyond that. Yes, I'm triggered, but this is something inside me. And so, I'm just going to pull a card and see which of the divine masters, the Ascended Masters, are working with. Okay, this one kind of moved to the side. Maitreya, the power of joy. And the message is simple with this card. Whenever I see the rainbows, the angels are close too. And they're saying that the joy is the beautiful accomplishment within the union, that both souls, even in the darkest hours or the heaviest struggles, there's that feeling of joy that they're supporting each other through it. And that's one of the biggest keys, that there isn't a red flag, that this is meant to be. Because as they're accomplishing things, they're supporting each other. And that's the first person that you want to connect with. when you realize that you've made it through something, you've recognized something, you've healed something, and they're the first person that notices. And so this Ascended Master is saying that through this connection, which is usually pulled together after both have gone through some life-altering changes, and they're in that space where they're cracked open and their heart is cracked open, no matter what's going on, no matter what challenges they're facing, because it's time for the joy. It's time to celebrate. It's time to be in the fullness of the love. That should be the main focus when it's an exchange of divine counterparts. Not any of this fear or I'm not ready for this, or any feelings of inadequacy, or any of those things. Gaslighting, that's not part of a divine counterpart. And when they meet, another thing that always comes up with this is this runner and chaser thing. This is not a divine counterpart. This is not. It's actually the opposite. Never ever does a divine counterpart trigger each other and then the other one goes running because they're afraid of what they're seeing. No, it's the opposite. It's like a magnet. They're saying, oh my goodness, something's going on inside of me. I don't want to do this alone. I know who understands me. They don't even have to explain themselves to each other. They understand. And that grace comes right out. The joy comes right out. We're not running. When something is going on with one of the counterparts, the other one is drawn like a magnet. There's so much love. Anything else is just fear. Divine counterparts are at such a high frequency, they're vibrating at such a high frequency that they understand at this point. They wouldn't be drawn to each other in a union if they weren't understanding that love is the only way through everything. So if you're encountering a situation and you're reading out on the internet that this one is the runner and this one is the chaser, and go into yourself and then you'll attract and all this stuff, that's not how it works. It's not how it works. When we go into our stillness and connect with God, Great Spirit, Source, Creator, there's nothing outside of that. When we connect with our guides and our angels, they don't run and chase. A divine union is blessed and created in Source. There would be no reason for that. Because in that frequency, we want to help. We want to heal. We want to shine light. And those hearts that are experiencing that don't feel anything else. I can assure you. Ask yourself this deep within. Is it joy? Does it bring joy? Because anything outside of that is the red flag. And it's not what we believe it to be. So I hope this message brings some kind of spark for us to consider a different possibility than everything that you've been hearing. I don't believe that anything is right or wrong. I am trying to just relay a message in the clearest way possible for an alternative way to possibly think or understand something, to give a different perception. Because it's gotten to the point now where we're giving out these lists and these archetypes from books that were written 10, 15 years ago, and nobody wants to stand up and say, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. Because everybody else who came before us said it was this way and that way. And this one's an authority on twin flames, and this one's an authority on divine counterparts. Sit with this. We're not making excuses for divine counterparts. We're not making excuses for negative behaviors by giving a list of things like that. Nobody running in any situation and chasing is a relationship. Let your heart and your soul sit with that. Because at the end of all of it, how is that going to bring two people together if they can't trust each other to be there through the thick and the thin? That's what you want. So we have to ask ourselves, are we making excuses for all the red flags to make something fit that we're really desiring and we're wanting because it's the person we want? Or are we really surrendering to the idea that there could be such a thing as a divine union created in source for a purpose in this lifetime and many, many lifetimes that serves for the greater good? Because there's a difference between an idea and a desire and a surrendering to all that is. All my love, everyone. Many blessings.